when that wave comes, to not sit on it and move on that wave, because that's your moment of creativity and your moment of breakthrough.
Yeah, you at least have to write it down so you can remember it at the least.
Glad you said that. Very glad you said that. Why am I so glad that he said that? Friends, family. Bam! This is the newness for October, the journal. A very important piece to start your journey and log it. I can't tell you the value of a journal for so many things. It could be just to get the thoughts out of your head. It could be to just write down your goals. It could also be to write down your process, right? Because Eddie wrote a lot about the bones of Memphis Magic. It's written. So I decided to create this special journal for our Sip and Shop family. And it reads, "We women are creators by nature." Ain't that the truth? It absolutely is. And this is not to negate the men at all, but, we as women, just finding your voice in whatever room or table you enter into, or the table that you create for yourself. But I think it's really important, especially now, to acknowledge what October really means. And October, for me, has always been a time of newness, a time of like a rebirth. And I see it like with nature. Like I'm one, like I get really excited when the sun is out. I get excited with the changing of the season. And fall is a wonderful time, like when you get to see like the changing leaves, like from that bright, vibrant green, and then it starts changing down into that rustic orange, the shades of brown, the vibrant yellow, and then it goes into that like marigold color that then moves into that electric red. It is spirit lifting, right? But at the same time, I think it's a really good time to pull the thoughts out of your mind, put them down on paper, and then start to work them so that they can become a reality for you. And I'm telling you, every single time, like when I speak, like I do a speaking engagement, I love speaking to students in schools, high school, colleges. But whenever I do speak about it, at some point I'll put in there how important it is to write it down. Write down your goals, and even if it doesn't make sense, just to at least get it out of your head, because once it's written down on paper, it will make sense. If it's logged, it's something for you to look at. Whether it is that you want to be an entrepreneur, or anything to elevate in your current position at your job. Maybe it's just a newfound hobby that you have, a passion. Just write it down so that you can see it and it can become your new reality. Make that thing come alive. And I'd like to make it come alive for you, right? Eddie and I have a great idea for anyone that purchases a journal for yourself, or you gift it for someone else. Any journal that is purchased, I, Andrea Fairweather, will start it off for you by writing a very special message just for you on the first page to get you going. How about that?
Sonny's got a question now.
Okay, what's the
She
question?
says, how often do you write in your journal, and is anything off limits?
In my journal? No, there's nothing off limits. You mean for me, what I write in my journal, is anything off limits?
I don't know if she means for you or just in general.
No, I think a journal for me is kind of like a diary in a sense. So it's two things. There's one journal that, which I consider more like the diary. where it was more like personal things, like things that needed to overcome, relationships, things like that was going through. So I spilled in that. Then there was the other one that is strictly for the entrepreneur umbrella. And that's where I wrote down all my visions of Fair Weather Faces, what was to be the travel and beauty service, the visions of that, and then and sometimes I hold on to things for a very long time. I may not finish it right then and there, but then I pick it up in its season. So then when I went back to it again, it went even further as I read. I was like, wow, we really did accomplish all that I wrote down. Let's keep this thing moving. And then when the product development came, and then wanting to go into the patents, and then then let's start having merchandise. What could that look like? What could we, then we could rock some t-shirts and bags and, makeup. So yes, practically everything that I've ever done has been written in a journal. But for me, to not confuse it, I have a separate one that's looked at as a diary for personal things in terms of relationships. And then the other one, which is like this, is for the entrepreneurial spirit, business, things like that, creative endeavors. How about that? The umbrella of creative endeavors goes in this. But I think what'll be really cool about it also is that the messages that I send will not be generic. So I'm not going to just go, good luck to you and your endeavors. Love, Andrea. It's not going to be anything like that. It will be me just taking a moment with each order that comes in and really kind of like praying on it and having Spirit move me to give and write whatever message it is that is coming for you. So that will be my gift back to you for a purchase. I think that's pretty awesome.
That's dope.
I would love that. Like if I was, watching, I would order it because I would want to see like what the message is, what Spirit is saying. I'm not trying to be a guru or anything, but I just want to be able to inspire you and move you through Spirit to at least try, because the most important thing, y'all, that you have to remember is you got to step forward and start. That's the hardest part.